Inspired. It's been a while since we've had a conversation with Ben Mintz, who is with Barstool Sports. Always fun to visit with Mintzy and check in. Ben, what's up? How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm walking around outside Pascal's Manali in uptown New Orleans, and I kind of just thought about y'all today. I sent Borky a text. Like, man, it's been a while, and it feels like we're overdue to catch up here on SuperTalk. So good to be with y'all.
It's great to be with you, Ben, joining us on the Farm Bureau guest line, as all folks do, all of our guests do. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team at Mississippi Farm Bureau. So, Ben, let's start big picture. It's been quite the year for you. A lot of success, some disappointment mixed in, and then a bit of a rally, and kind of feels like you're in a good place now.
Yeah, I feel like I just told Borky this when we were off the air. I feel like my life is such a roller coaster, I can barely follow it day to day, and I live it. I mean, it's so crazy. Every day is a new and exciting adventure, and obviously this year has been up and down. There's no doubt about it, but, I think that's made me a lot stronger person, and I feel like I've developed, calluses on my skin and brain, all the stuff I'm going through, and, I kind of got a little bit of a different perspective on life after turning 40, and I kind of focus a lot more on my health now, and I think I got a little bit better outlook, and, just got a lot to be excited about. I'm moving to Chicago in 2 weeks, so I'm kind of getting that's kind of processing, that's getting real.
Yeah, Chicago and New Orleans, a little bit different. I was thinking with regard to kind of the year that you've had, you remember when we were kids, if you were playing basketball in the driveway and it didn't go well or you got fouled, somebody called for a do-over? And you just kind of re-racked it, and you did a do-over like it never even happened. And the truth of the matter is, in life, we don't get, do-overs per se, but sometimes we do get second chances.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, obviously I'm very blessed to have the second chance I've had. Obviously everybody that knows what happened. I made a terrible but accidental mistake that I didn't, that anybody that knows me knows there was no intent. And so I got the benefit of the doubt from the public just because I think people that have followed my journey know that, I feel like I'm one of the least malicious people you're ever going to meet. And I think through it all, I just tried to keep as good of an attitude as you could. Obviously there were some down points. I was pretty upset about stuff, but, people deal with life and death stuff day to day. It wasn't like I got cancer. I had a job problem. People have job problems. You just got to put it in perspective. And, I did a good job keeping my mouth shut, not saying anything negative about anything because I knew that wasn't going to help anything. And I just kept the right attitude and stayed upbeat. And I'm very blessed to have a lot of people like Dave Portnoy in my corner in life.
All right. So Dave Portnoy, you can't talk about your Barstool journey without Brandon Walker's name coming up, at least not in the state of Mississippi, because Brandon obviously is a Mississippi State guy, and you are an Ole Miss guy, and you guys have, I think, had some fun kind of going back at and forth at each other, whether it's baseball related in Omaha or football related. And I guess now we have the most recent chapter of the story with the kind of the rivalry between the two of you. Is it fair to say it that way?
Yeah, I think it is. What's fun about the Brandon thing too is we could not have more different personalities. I'm just a super try to be positive, upbeat guy, and he doesn't have to play the role. He's he's that real negative State fan that hates Ole Miss. He ain't acting it. He's it, and it's just funny our back and forth because we're just so different, and I think that's what makes it work. And we do have the latest chapter was really funny when Dave on the college football show dropped last week that we were doing the NIL deal with Brick Watch and the Grove Collective. And Brandon tweeted out this week, anybody from the New York Times or Washington Post need help for the next hit piece on Dave, holler at me. I thought that was really, really, really funny stuff. But Brandon wasn't real happy to see Dave get involved in this. I don't think that was fact at all.
All right, so the deal that you've got going, and I think this one's a little bit unique. So Barstool / Brick Watch Company has partnered with the Grove Collective. Is that accurate?
Yep. Yeah, so basically what happened was when Dave hired me for Brick Watch in late May, I I never thought I'd be a watch salesman growing up. I can tell you that. But, I tried to get creative with ideas. I was like, well, how do we move these watches? And we're dealing with this whole new world in the NIL. And so I kind of thought I have a great relationship with Walker Jones and the Grove Collective. I was like, well, I saw Tyler Jordan and Realtree do the Lane shoes. And, people are giving money to these collectives. Why not give them something they can have for giving the money? So I came up with this idea with why don't we do a brick watch pair with Grove Collective, and Walker Jones loved it, and Dave loved it too because he's got some inventory he wants to move. And so, Dave was cool enough to come all the way down to where it's the watches are still, they're expensive. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. They're $1,919 at checkout, but $1,000 goes to the Grove Collective, $919 goes back to Dave. And, it's funny. I'm telling you, I'm emptying out my phone, making personal phone calls to my entire Ole Miss network. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Dave Portnoy had my back through a lot of stuff this year. Brick Watch also did a $20,000 grant to Chuck's Dairy Bar in Rolling Fork, Mississippi, when they went through that awful tornado. We're going as hard as we can for the state of Mississippi, and so I'm doing everything I can for Dave. I talked to him this morning, said if we sell 50 of them, maybe I might have gone too high when I said 50. I probably should have asked 40. But I said if we sell 50, the Barstool College Football Show with Dave, Big Cat, Walker, Casey, me, Big Ev, coming to the Grove next fall. I'm hoping for maybe the Georgia game, but who knows. But he said if we sell 50, he's committed. And as of right now, I think I've got 12 or 13 sales, but with 4 or 5 other hard commitments from people I trust. So I think I'm doing pretty good, selling 17 or 18 so far in a couple of days. So we're on the right track.
All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. Is Brick Watch Company something that? Hold on. Let me ask that a different way. The watch industry is for people that are watch people is incredibly competitive. People are really, really passionate about watches that buy nice watches and collectors. Is Brick Watch Company something that feels like has got some staying power, or is this kind of a one-off deal? Wanted to stick our toes into the market and see where it goes.
I think it's more sticking our toes in the market on this and seeing where it goes. Brick watches are very nice watches. My thing with them, I love them. I wear them. I think they're great. It's just hard. The price point's just real high, but I think they're doing fairly well. But I think the big thing having Dave and Barstool, it's about being creative. And so that's what the whole brainchild of this idea was. Barstool's brand is so strong with colleges. We have a great brand with Ole Miss. Why not try to get creative and capitalize off it? And, like I said, I think so far so good. I think every sale here is a success, and we're on the right track. And, I think we can get this done.
Mintz, we've got a couple of minutes left. Let's talk a little bit about this college football season.
Let's do it.
Nationally, it's been wild. I think it's been really entertaining. If you look at the television numbers, more people are watching this year than have watched in a really long time. We heard a lot about NIL is going to destroy college football. It seems to be quite the opposite. Am I crazy for looking at this year and saying it feels like more teams are in it and therefore more people are engaged?
Yeah, I think so. And, I just think there's been so much of an Alabama fatigue over the years. And I know Georgia's won the last 2, but it's great to see so many teams in the mix. It's a shame that the 12-team playoff doesn't start this year. How nuts would that be this year?
Oh, it'd be wild.
But I agree with you. I think it's great because I think the thing that's going on with the NIL world more than anything is, in the old days, your Bamas of the world, their third-string guys are 5-star guys. The depth level was just so staggering. But now if you don't start, you leave. And so even for Alabama and Georgia and these top teams, they're not able to have the depth that they used to have because of the NIL transfer portal stuff. And so I think it's great for the sport. I like parity. That was always my one knock on college football is how much the blowouts, the best teams were better than everybody. So I'm loving it. I'm entertained. I can't wait for the 12-team playoff. And, the other thing, too, is the SEC is always so dominant. And I'm not saying Georgia and Bama aren't great this year, but they're not, especially both of them on offense, aren't what we've seen the last few years. And so I think there's kind of more hope for everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see how it plays out. In 10 seconds, what's the next concert you're going to?
Oh, man, I don't even know. Oh, gosh, I don't even know. I think my morning jacket in Chicago, November 9th, is at the Chicago Theater. That's my quick answer. I'm going to Auburn LSU Saturday, Baton Rouge, Barstool College Football Show at Fred's. I think LSU is going to destroy Auburn, and then I think Auburn Ole Miss is going to just be an absolute war. So that's what's coming.
Ben, great catching up. We'll talk again soon.